Get rid of the music. But yeah, we're just gonna jump into it. First thing I want to explain is the talent system and trait system. So each character, or each hero, right? Each hero is going to have 3 traits, or is it? No, every hero has at least 2 traits, one offensive, one defensive. And some have a third trait, which is like a second resource or a second mechanic that they have. And the left one is always going to be your offensive trait. The right one is always going to be your defensive trait. So each hero is now going to scale with 2 attributes, which were changed to not give any damage rating bonus, but they still give like int is crit damage, and fighting was changed to crit rating multiplier. Which the crit rating multiplier means that, so it's 10.5% crit rating right now, right? So that means for every 100 crit rating that I put on my character, I'm actually getting 110 in, well, 110.5, whatever that would be. So I am actually getting more crit for having more fighting. So the attributes were changed to defense rating multiplier and health for durability, deflect and reduce damage on deflected attacks for strength, crit rating multiplier and minus percent damage taken from melee attacks for fighting, dodge multiplier for speed and minus damage from area, minus damage from range, and minus spirit cost for energy, and like I said, crit damage. And a new thing is medkit cooldown percentage for intelligence, which cooldown on medkit is going to be definitely very good, especially because of this new thing on the cores, which I'll explain later, which is the damage shield. So back to the traits. Each will have an archetype. So your archetype is basically what two attributes you'll scale with. So like champion is durability or speed, and for every point of durability or speed, you get 4% damage. And then there's usually a second thing to it. For Angela, you get an extra 3% crit chance. She gets health on hit. Her archetype is versatile, which means that she gets defense and dodge. She's a defense and dodge character, and then she's a melee combatant, which means you get damage reduction plus 8% naturally. There's also other types like, let's look at Ant-Man. He is different, so Ant-Man is a savant, which is speed or energy, and nimble, which is deflect dodge. Right? There is characters that have this melee command is different, which I don't know if Deadpool has it. Okay, close quarters. When you hit with a melee power, you get the 8% damage reduction for 3 seconds. So that is pretty much the same thing on live that characters have in their defense passives, or baked into their kit somehow. So every character will have something like that. You can notice that there's no revive anymore on baked into these. And like I said, there is a third trait, which is usually an explanation of either your different resource, or it's a second mechanic, like Angela's was the living ribbons, which her living ribbons is just basically a passive that attacks every 3 seconds. So if I get close to an enemy, you'll see the ribbons just attacking every 3 seconds. So that's basically what the traits are. There are other characters like Rogue. We'll get into Rogue for a bit here. Rogue has the trait here, and then she has 3 traits that she can steal. So Rogue is different because she has a power bank. I'll get into Rogue more when I get to her hero spotlight. But she can steal traits from other people, and she can have 3 different ones. But there are traits that give her a second resource, like Colossus. Where is he? Colossus gives her armor, which basically, when you get hit, it'll take damage out of your armor instead of your HP. And she can only have 1 secondary trait at a time, so you're gonna have to mix and match with her. But that's basically all the traits. All the information about traits that I can give. Now, for talents, there is every hero except for Rogue will have 5 rows of 3 talents each. You can mix and match these talents however you want, and they will modify how your powers act. So, like, for Angela, we have the Writhing Ribbons will now slow enemies caught in its area, which it doesn't have it on there innately. So you see, if I put this talent on, it gains the slow tag. And, you know, it just modifies your power. That's just all traits do. Now, each hero has their own separate, talents. And they're all pretty much different. A lot of them, you'll notice that sometimes they took them off of powers that were on live and just baked them into a talent because the hero worked so well, or there wasn't really much to do for the hero, that it just made sense to take it off the power itself and put it on the talent. Next thing is, there's no more Omega system, it's now the Infinity system. So, the Infinity system is a very simplified version of the Omega system, I guess. The Omega system had a bunch of problems where there was only a certain amount of nodes that you can pretty much take and be efficient with. So, right for the Infinity system, you can level this up as many times as you want. You have an infinite amount of points. It goes in a round-robin style when you get a point. So right now you can see the bar is purple, so I'd be getting a point in the Space Gem. Now these are the Infinity Stones, so there's Mind, Power, Reality, Soul, Space, and Time. I think your first point would go to Mind, and then, go round into Power, Reality, Soul, Space, Time, stuff like that. You can see I have a bunch of points in each, so like... Hello? My total Infinity points earned is 5541, which I just gave myself. Since this is Test Center, they have level 60 XP potions, so I just bought them. And use that to gain a bunch of Infinity points just for testing with, so you can see I just got 3 space points there. And next one is Time, because it's yellow. Or Reality, I guess. Because I got so many points that it went to the other gems as well. But yeah, each gem has 5 nodes. 4 of them have a cap, and then the 5th one is an attribute point, which each attribute point costs 25 points. Basically, the points are whatever the amount of Omegas you had before the system changed. You divide that by 10 and then split it among 6 gems. So it would be like, if you had 10,000 points, it would be, you'd get 1,000 total points and then 168 points in each gem. Now, it does scale where you have diminishing returns on the amount of XP it needs to, you need to get a point. So, keep that in mind. each each gem, it's going to cost 1,000 points to max all 4 of these nodes here. And then you have this node, which can be pretty much infinitely put into. Somebody did a test on the test center a couple weeks ago, and they found that there is a cap at 500 points in the gem, in the attribute node, but it's going to take so long to get to that point that it's basically infinite. The attribute point does not cost too much, to be honest. It's well, let's just look. So we've got 2 points for 5 spirit, so I can put all my points in here. So I now have 726 points left. There's summon ally health, so you know, Angela doesn't need summon ally health because she doesn't summon. You've got Mind Over Matter, which is 7 points for 14 health regen a second. A little bit expensive. I personally wouldn't take that unless it's a last resort thing. So, to be honest, I wouldn't put into this node or this node, unless this is the last thing I would put into. So we've got Spirit Cost, which is, I think it's one of the best nodes in the Infinity system. I would always take that first. That and the Spirit one. So now I have 650 points to put into the Intelligence node. So I just got 26 Intelligence right there. So yeah, that's pretty much the Mind Gem. So now we got the Power Gem. The Power Gem is the Strength gem. So we've got the Strength node, and then we have base damage to signature powers, 1 point for 0.5%, which goes all the way to 100% base damage on your signature, which is pretty insane. We've got Ultimate Power Cooldown, which goes up to 10%. Less damage versus all attacks, which again is very good. That's just basically 10% damage reduction. Yes, this is going on my YouTube. This is going to be a Twitch highlight and on the YouTube. That's why there's no music. And then we have Summon Ally Damage, which, again, if you don't summon, then you don't take this node. So basically what I would do is, these 2 nodes, I don't really care about the ultimate power cooldown unless you're actually using your ultimate on cooldown, which I usually don't because I always forget about it. Speed energy. And then, just go straight into strength. And now that's basically what I would do. I've got the 10% damage reduction, the signature, and then strength, which, strength is now deflect and reduce damage from deflected attacks. That's basically the power gem. The reality gem is your energy gem, which has energy damage, energy. You've got unaware damage, which is damage versus enemies not targeting you. Health on hit, which again is expensive, so I would take it as a last thing. It's not a bad node, it's just expensive. So unless you have over 1,000 points, I would not take that. Unless you want to be really tanky for some reason. We've got crit hit chance, which goes up to 5% at 50 points. This costs 4 points each, so it is 200 points to max that. And then magic bullets, which is crit damage, and that costs 1 point each, so 150 points for 30% crit damage, which is not bad. Then you got the energy, of course. So basically, that I would max those three. You got fighting, which, again, very good node. That is your crit rating multiplier, and less damage from melee goes up to 25%. Would it be cool if damage archetypes were interchangeable? You can only change it to limit destruction to match your playstyle of that character. For example, change Spidey from a fighter to a savant. I don't know. I don't really like that. I would actually rather just have a set option, because then I don't have to worry about gearing too much. I can just pick like, say I'm a savant, I can just pick like, int and strength or whatever it is. So we got a fighting node. Here's a new node that I'm not really seen much. Your team up, it says you team up, that's gonna be fixed. Your team up gains 0.5 base damage for 10 seconds when you hit with any power for 1 point. And that goes to 100% damage, which doesn't really show unless you press accept. You've got base health here for 2 points, on max is 250, so if you can notice my health at the bottom there, it's 26,196. With this maxed, that's 500 points, but I just almost doubled my health. It is base health, so it's not really doubling your health. It's 250%. But since it's base health, it's not really what your normal health is. It's just what your health is without gear, pretty much. You've got your brute strike chance, which 3 points a pop goes to 5%. 5% brute strike chance is basically your old Hela blessing, or your old Wolverine synergy here. And then you got brute damage, 2 points for up to 75. It's very useful. And then fighting. The Space Gem, we have durability, total defense rating, dodge chance, deflect chance, and base damage to area powers. What I would do here is, if you don't really care about the tankiness, I wouldn't take anything but these two nodes, the area damage and the durability. Total defense rating is not really worth it unless you're building defense rating, so like, I have 67, that's weird, but I guess fitting. I have 67 defense rating, so I can get 75% more total defense rating, which means it's the multiplier, so what that means is for every 100 defense rating, I'm getting 175 with that. Right now my defense multiplier is 116, so I'm getting 216 defense for every 100 defense rating. This is a pretty decent node. It's 5% flat dodge chance. It's not the dodge rating multiplier. It is just flat dodge chance. So I can go from 10 to 15% dodge chance, which is really good, because a dodge is completely evading damage. Deflect, again, it's 5% deflect, and I think deflect is bad. I just don't like it. It's not worth it to me. Then you got the damage rating. The area power is 150%, which is really good, and durability. So that's basically your space gem. And this is the last gem, which is the time gem. This is basic speed. So you've got attack speed, move speed, dash and teleport power cooldown, movement power damage, and attack speed. This node is probably one of the best nodes, I would say, because With the changes comes the change to dash powers. So I move really slow right now. With this maxed, it's 100 points, but it makes you move 50% faster, which I am moving pretty much as fast as I would normally be moving with, the 3 dashes. I think that is one node that I would prioritize. Then we've got, the dash and teleport power cooldown, so it's minus 30%. So normally your dash is on a 4-second cooldown, so it's now on a 2.5 second, 3.5 second cooldown. Oh, does it? No. You've got attack speed, which it goes to 50 points for 3 points each, and that goes to 25%, which is diminished, but that node makes it so that you don't really have to gear for attack speed. So like this Hydra Agent Medallion, I'm not going to use on her anyway because she is speed durability. That attack speed on it is pretty much wasted, so I could take it off and I'd be at 16.1%, but if I take this node, I go all the way to 28%. Now, if I take off, what else has attack speed on her? This, still 25.6%. I don't know what else has attack speed. I guess that's it. So yeah, that node is very powerful. I would definitely, if you need attack speed, I'd definitely take this node, and you can gear for other things instead of attack speed. But for Angela, I think I'm gonna stick with the attack speed gears because her Hunter's Blade scales very well with attack speed. And that's pretty much the Infinity System. What else? One over the traits, one over the talents, one over the Infinity System. There are a couple synergies that changed. We've got Gambit, which was changed to plus energy. Anything that had Riff and Sif was changed. So Deadpool is now plus 2% damage versus enemies targeting you, and Black Cat is now 5% or 5 bonus credits per drop, which is pretty nice. Main big one is Gambit being energy, which is really good because that's an extra 4% damage. So it's basically like another full synergy here for your character that if they, scale with energy. The other systems that changed were we don't have custom cores anymore. We now have catalysts, which there's no more adamantium catalyst. It was changed into whatever the hero uses now. So we have a couple different ones: advanced technological system, mystical energies, cosmic spirit, radioactive isotope, genetic mutation. I think that's all of them. But now they do have, I think I still have one. Yeah, they do have 5 affixes. So you can see I have physical damage, energy damage, 3 fighting, 1173 health, and 36 spirit. There are other affixes like the 25% medkit, there's the 400 life on hit, well, it's now 418 life on hit. What else? There is no more invulnerability on medkit. It is now, whatever had invuln on your medkit is now the cosmic affix, which is gain a damage shield equal to 50% of your max health when you use your medkit. So every time you use your medkit, you can see I get this little shield here, which is equal to 14,208 health for my health right there. Your cores will now gain your visual and your crafted affixes. So whatever you had on your costume is now on your catalyst, not core anymore. The other thing that changed was there is a new system called BIF, Bonus Item Find. This is pretty much a paid only system where you buy a boost, a BIF boost. So you can see the bonus item find boost. I'll just get that for one thing. and it is this pink boost here. There are other boosts that change, so you got like a currency boost, a combination boost, which is Biff, XP, currency, credits, all that stuff. And yeah, basically what Biff is for killing things you get Biff points, which you can gain at a decent rate. If I pop 5 of these, I can get them at 5 times as fast. So I can go to like a terminal. Let's hop on Deadpool just so this is easier and faster. So I can hop on Deadpool, go into like let's say, which one would be good? I guess Fist Power. Still stolen build for Anna and you like it? Well, thank you for using the build. The builds are out there for you guys to use. So I just kill things and I get points for the Biff bar. So I 5279. I kill one thing, or 2 things I guess, and it goes to 5804. So I'm getting basically 5 times as many. 5 times as many points because I used 5 Biff boosts. When you fill that bar, I'm not going to do it right now. When you fill that bar, you get a chest of loot, and that's basically where most of the loot in my inventory came from. So I did fill that at least once. I got Industry City Ring, this Catalyst, Unique, some. I guess I got these. I got a 10,000 credit chest, Cosmic Team Up gear, random challenge bonus. But yeah, Biff I think it's good for a system that is monetized. It's not necessarily needed because you can definitely get all this stuff without using a Biff boost. Is there any other systems that changed? I don't really think. Oh wait, there is one system that changed, which is team ups. Your team ups now have a team up synergy, which basically what it is as your team up levels, they get stronger. So for every mastery level, which is just their level, up until 60, you get 1% bonus base damage. Now that is a per hero thing, the 1%, but for every level 60 team up you have, you get 2% base damage for all of your team ups, up to a maximum of 50, like it says there. So I have all 50 team ups leveled, so I actually finished my synergy. So my total synergy bonus on this team up is 160% since I have the 100% from the, all around team up synergy, and then the per team up. And that's basically team up synergies. It's very basic, but it works, I guess. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's not really what they wanted for team up synergies. They really said it was going to be something different, but it's not what they wanted. But yeah, that's basically it, and that's pretty much going to wrap up this portion of the spotlights. That is basically all of the systems that's being changed. There are changes to artifacts and such, like Crossbones Teaching Credentials does not have physical damage anymore, instead it has +3 strength. So regearing is going to have to happen, and it's just, I don't know, it's not going to be hard, but it's going to take a while to regear everybody. Eventually, uniques will be going away for Omega items. Oh, there is one more thing. There is the difficulty slider, which, as you can see, there's normal difficulty, heroic, and super or cosmic. I guess there's going to be 2 more difficulties, which, if you go on heroic difficulty, you get plus 90% bonus XP and credit find, and on cosmic you get plus 200%. So it's it's going to be very interesting to see how people fare in the higher difficulties. So everything will scale to you. Whatever you want to play in, that's gonna be how it scales to you. So if I warp to the location, I'm now in cosmic difficulty. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the systems updates. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will be back with hero spotlights soon. I'm going to be doing a hero spotlight on every hero in the game. Those are going to come out